Stand by the laid down protocol, but let me welcome you all to this auspicious occasion. May I sincerely thank and appreciate the family of the late Chief E.K. Clark for the honor of inviting me as special guest of honor to this late Chief E.K. Clark Memorial Lecture and Day of Tribute. The lecture taking place here today at the NF Nigerian NF Conference Center and Suite. I sincerely welcome and thank you all for honoring the invitation to this grand occasion to honor the memory of that great patriot and patriarch of the Clark family dynasty, that great statesman, the clarion voice of the people of Niger Delta and all Nigerians that truly love and believe in one Nigeria, no matter how it is made or formed. I was born a Nigerian, and I do not bother about how the name came about. But I am a Nigerian, and let us believe in Nigeria, and let us make sure that Nigeria continue as Nigeria. Chief E.K. Clark believed in one Nigeria, a Nigerian that endeavored to attain to his final resting home in Kiagbodo, town in Delta State. Today, you are invited to listen and to hear and know about what our beloved elder E.K. Clark lived and believed in the service, and love of the country, of his country. I cannot help but to infringe on the topic of today's lecture and what we shall all take home. Would what our heroes past, like Chief E.K. Clark, what he had left to us to be in vain? To me, certainly not. We have survived as a united country these over 50 years, especially after our crisis, and still looking for that perfect federal system of government that he had worked for. I'm sure Nigerians will do whatever they can to achieve this. Let us today concentrate our attention to the theme of the lecture, Quest for Unity, Equity, and Justice in Nigeria. Shall the labor of our heroes past be in vain? And try to answer it in the affirmative, as we have heard it has been answered by the panel earlier on today. Although this program was brief just for the lecture, I'm delighted to know that it has been joined with the other event, the tribute event that was to have come on Friday, May the 9th. At least it is being taken now. So I thank you all for coming. What can one say anymore about Chief E.K. Clark. You've heard what he has done, the way he had really made sure that during that period that he was working with me, especially at the end of the Civil War, his courage and tenacity to ensure that he carried out what we wanted about reconciliation, rehabilitation, and reconstruction. Yes, he did so well. The sort of thing he did, taking his daughter, Rebecca Okorodudu, to the Queen's School. My goodness, just to show that, yes, we want to remain one and put right from everything that has gone wrong. No, I thank him very much for his courage in that respect. And it is not only in the East Central State that he did that, but his effort also extended to various northern states, sending them teachers, and help that they can, from the Midwest. So he had done very well, and all along he is fighting for a Nigeria that is fair, Nigeria there is justice, Nigeria that is equity. And this is what he has told us, he's left for us, to make sure that all Nigerians continue to ensure that Nigeria live as one country, one united, with justice, equity, and fair play. So I thank you all for coming and for attending this ceremony, and I hope that we've taken home his effort of ensuring that we believe, trust in Nigeria, but a Nigeria that is fair to all. Thank you very much indeed, and may God bless you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency deserves a better round of applause, please.
So many people will still speak. But I am a part of the organization. I'm the son of E.K. Clark. So I appreciate all our leaders here and my wife that I'm here for this twin program of the memorial lecture and a tribute in honor of my father, Chief E.K. Clark. We appreciate so much. Let me join the children, the direct biological children, and all of us who are his political children to thank you. It's difficult to end comments on E.K. Clark. Somebody asked me in an interview, now E.K. Clark is gone in the Niger Delta, do you think you can have a replacement for E.K. Clark? And I said that you don't need to look for a replacement for E.K. Clark because you will not get it. Because he's quite a unique person. Even at his age, his memory. If you mention your name as a young man of 30-something, 40-something, he will tell you what he did with your father. Not so many people have that kind of memory. And even listening to all the contributors, you really see that he was a very courageous person, very focal. And one key thing, he believed in the unity of this country. But he doesn't believe that any section of the country should suffer. So these are the things, and he's ready to tackle anybody at any time. If he believes that you've said something that's not fit in what you believe about building a united Nigeria. People may seem as controversial in one way or the other, but if you listen to all his statements, it's about a country that must remain one, a country that every section, every individual should have the same treatment. These are the qualities Wike clerk. And what I told the person who asked me the question is that we cannot replace him. All what we have to do is to make sure that we come up with annual lecture or something that will continue to advocate his own vision and philosophy. And doing that gradually, we're going to impart on the younger ones what Wike clerk stood for. We're all leaders in our own rights, but everybody has his own style of leadership. And I mentioned to that person that even if you read through the history of West Africa, you see that kingdoms rise and fall. And you hardly get, from the same kingdom, you hardly get two leaders that will do the same thing. One leader, one king, powerful king will come and build the empire. Sometimes a weak king will come and the empire will even go. But then this empire continues to endure. So Wike clerk has done his best. It's left for us to believe in his own vision for life and his own philosophy. When my good friend Michael Zakome spoke, he talks about the issue of one-party state. And when you listen to the news, read the show, go through the show media, that's one thing that on an occasion like this, probably one need to. Yes, one-party states, countries have managed one-party states. Yes, one-party state may not be an evil after all, because Julius Nyerere of Tanzania used one-party state to stabilize his country in their early days of independence. He felt that his country has, just like in Nigeria, too many tribes and tongues, two principal religions, Christianity and Islam. If he allowed multi-parties, some parties will toe the lines of religion, some will toe the lines of tribes, and unity will be difficult. But it was properly planned, it was not by accident. If we must, as a nation, go one party, then it must be designed, it must be planned by experts, and we know what we are going in for. But if we come through the back door by political manipulations, then we're heading to crisis. So I will advise that probably a country like Nigeria is better we allow the system to stay as it is. Yes, the multi-party, but if we, for some reason, we must go one party, then it should not be an accident. It should not be by political manipulation. Because if you read this book, How Democracies Died by two American professors, then you see that some of these are the symptoms of the death of democracies in nations. And Nigeria is a complex country. And I think it's better we manage the situation as it is, that manipulating the system in a way that will suffocate the country to death. I thank all of you.
She's looking at her husband. Say, baby, you've spoken well again. Or did I say it the way she will say it?
I clearly remember the last admonition that Chief Wike clerk gave me was, Obon, do not give up on trying to make Nigeria better. I remember that so clearly because as a disciple, I tried to fight alongside him because I believed in what he believed in. And what did he believe in? He believed in one Nigeria, but Nigeria that did not have second-class citizens. Nigeria in which nobody was oppressed. Nigeria that was fair, equitable, and just. So, today, the only tribute we can really pay to the man is to tell ourselves that we are going to continue in those footsteps and make sure that sooner than later, through the establishment of a new constitution for Nigeria, we bring about the sort of Nigeria that Wike clerk dreamt of. That's the only way we can make sure that the labors of our heroes past do not go in vain. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
A round of applause for Peter Gregory Obi, but we call him Peter Obi.
Your Excellencies, and our dear father, GOWON, Your Excellency and my dear elder brother, Jonathan, let me respectfully stand on all new and existing protocols. Where do we start talking of our dear father, Clark? For somebody like me who has just been part of this 2023 election, he lived a life of courage, a life of sacrifice, a life of justice, a life that is valued. But most importantly, he's continued living that life to the end. I listened to my brother Mike when he talked about, may the labor of our heroes past not be in vain. I'm sorry, I'm happy that GOWON is here, and I'm happy that Jonathan is here. But I can tell you, their sacrifice is in vain. They've sacrificed for nothing. We're in this country when people were protesting, when there was no need to protest under Jonathan. Where are those protesters? Have they died? Where are they? So why are we saying it should not be in vain? Jonathan increased fuel from 87 naira to 120, and people were protesting in this country. And when it was 900, they were not protesting. Are they dead? So why are we saying it should not be in vain? People protested when naira was 180, and when it was 1,500, they're not protesting. Are they dead? So let's not say it should not be in vain. I spoke a few days ago, and people said I'm demarketing Nigeria. When it's true to be demarketed, one bank has just shown that 75% of Nigerians in rural areas are poor. Is one bank demarketing Nigeria? UNICEF 2 days ago released that Nigeria now have over 2 million malnourished children, the second highest in the world. Are they demarketing Nigeria? Let's face the reality. Their labor is in vain. We have a country now that is not democratic. We are not a democratic country. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Is the election that happened in Edo, is it democratic? Just the last election in Edo is the most undemocratic election. Everybody knows who won that election. So why are we keeping it and saying, let their work not be in vain? It is in vain. So we can start picking the pieces now, because they've destroyed everything people have sacrificed for. Look at what is happening in Nigeria today. Above all, GOWON sacrificed everything. The country people sacrifice has turned into a crime scene. All we do today is stealing. You know, and we have to do something. All we need to do, he lived a courageous life. May God Almighty that called him home grant him eternal rest and grant us the courage to look into what our father lived for and start picking our pieces. May God bless all of you.
Late Professor Ishe Sage, late Professor Kimse Okoko, late Admiral Akigbe, late Dokbesi, all of them, he led them, they appointed me as spokesperson for the South, even when I was not present. At that conference, Chief Ike Clark became a rallying point for the entire Southern delegates, including Western delegates, asking for nothing but true fiscal federalism in a pluralistic society such as we have. He said he had one common cliche, one common dictum: we are all Nigerians. He continued to say, we are all Nigerians. No one should lord it over another. And at the 2014 National Conference, he again led us most powerfully, like the war commander he was. His table actually became a rallying point. not just for South-South, Southwest, or Southeast delegates, but for the entire national conferees, because they saw wisdom in what he was preaching. Not necessarily one Nigeria, but a Nigeria imbued with equity, justice, and mutual respect. May God let his soul rest in perfect peace, even as he transited at 97, 3 months shy of 98. God bless you all. Thank you.
I'm a minority man, so was Chief E.K. Clark. We are minorities. General Gowan agreed that he was able to fight the Civil War without borrowing a penny because the Midwest provided all the money. If what I'm saying is not correct, let him say it's not correct. But Midwesterners have held Nigeria together all along. The only time the Midwesterners complained was when they were being cheated and the youth rose up. Otherwise, they not said they were seceding or they were going out anywhere. General, thank you very much for the Civil War. May God bless you. It is not often that those who fight wars want to see war again. So those who are talking about secession, how they are going to break away, obviously they are yet to blame as Nigerians. Because let's face it, how many who were born before our amalgamation of 1914? Not one here. So they were all born, who were all born into Nigeria. And this was what Clark preached. And most of us, we agree on that. Because although I was not in Omoyele's cabinet, I was the chairman of the Football Association at the time, and we were able to promote military regime as best as we could. But we must be careful that we don't have a repeat performance. There are open spaces, we are told, somewhere in Nigeria. Well, if you want these spaces occupied, why don't you invite us to come? After all, we provided the funds to fight the war. Now people are occupying spaces, and you need people to come and occupy them, not from abroad, but from those in this country. Chief Clark and I were part of most of the association belong, except the political parties. I joined one with the Yorubas, and he was able to join with the North. And he profited more than me because, strictly speaking, the Yorubas did not quite hold anything in Nigeria in terms of political power. But at the same time, I went to him not long ago, last 2-3 months ago, that I was going to Japan. Can you imagine if first generation senior advocate Japan so he said, why? I gave him 2 documents I've just written. Read them. So he read, and he said, well, when you come back, come and see me. So I left for 10 past to cool down. When I came back, I went to see him, and that was the day he was inaugurating ambassador as his successor. And we all helped to wedge the kola nut. E.K. Clark's ideas still continues. We will carry it on. He was 90, he was in the 90th grade. I'm of the 80th grade, and we will pass it on to the 70th grade. So that this act of Chief E.K. Clark, long from Nigeria, for some of us were lucky enough to be invited into the Green Eagle team at the time. I was a member of the machine team in 1962. So when people talk about secession and they want to change, I don't understand. And when they asked me, my daughters, I have only two, that they were going to get passport for England and for Canada, I wasn't happy, because I believe that Nigerian passport is good enough. The children, Papa has gone, but don't forget you have plenty papas, and I'm one of them. And anytime you have problem, you're welcome. Thank you very much.
Chief Dr. Edwin Kiagodo Clark, a renowned leader, more especially from the Niger Delta State in particular. A man Deltans are so proud of. A man Niger Delta people hold at high esteem. A man who declared uprightness, forthrightness, good line of action. He provided leadership, not just for the people of Delta State, not just for people of the Niger Delta, but for Nigeria and everyone who come across him. We hold him dearly to our heart. Today, the governor is unavoidably absent, and he has sent me to represent him. Our leader, a national man, a man who has done his bit, today is no more. He has come, he has seen, and he has conquered. We hold him dear to our heart, we miss him, and we pray that his soul will find place to rest in the bosom of the Lord. Thank you, and God bless you.
The speakers are okay. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Regina Ogene Omoyele. I am from Delta State, and I'm not a politician. So I have come here to pay tribute to Daddy, the late Edwin Kiagodo Clark. I need to let this audience know that on this earth, I knew him for 58 years. I knew him when I was 15, a young girl just growing up. I became so friendly with him that even when he was in Lagos, at number 22 Hindra Street, Apapa, I would go to visit him. And my father will say, this is your friendship with Ike Clark. And when my father was in Gambia, he visited my father. He told my father one thing, I came here to visit you because of Regina. Where's Regina? But then I was married, I was in my husband's house. Now, something spectacular happened between my father and Ike Clark. My father needed a favor from him, and my father went to him. Please do me this. And he said to my father, and I repeat, I have only one friend in your house. That friend is Regina. This thing that you so desire me to do, if Regina says I will do it, I should do it, I will do it. But I'm not listening to you. And my father calls me. I said it before. This is your friendship with Ike Clark. This is what he has told me. And I said, Daddy, what did you want? He told me what he wanted. I did not need to go to Daddy's school, as I call him, because once he hears anybody say, Daddy's school, he knows I'm the one. And he will reply, Regina, where are you? I said, what did you want, Daddy? I just put a call through to Daddy's school, and it was done. That is how loyal he was. Then tell me why I should not come and stand before this crowd today to say how loyal he was while he was on earth. I want to agree with my president. His brain was so sharp. Each time I was with him, arguments upon arguments. Regina is not like this, Regina is not like this. This is how it is, this is how it is. And at the end of the day, you find out that he is right. The memory was so sharp. And another thing I want to say about Dadisco, many people will go to him to tell him things about me, not knowing the bond that I have with him. He will call me, Regina, so person just left here. Hear what they said about you. Be careful, my daughter. And I'll be careful. But I will never allow anybody to know that he told me anything. The best tribute I will give to Dadisco today is that, one, I will take his family as he took me. He took me as a daughter. So today, I declare it before everybody that all Dadisco's children are my brothers and my sisters. That's one. Two, Dadisco school stood for fairness, equity, and justice. And that is what I have made up my mind to stand for until I leave this earth. Many of you saw him as an Ijaw leader. To me, he was a national leader and a very good father. I am happy that I'm seeing past presidents here. One of them here, if you can recall, we know one night he visited Dadisco, and Dadisco introduced me to him. This is my daughter. He kept to introduce me to anybody that I was present around him with as the daughter. Daughter not be only the one where you born, no. Now the one where you take as your pikin. Dadisco, may your soul rest in peace. I love you. Thank you.
Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for giving me just these few minutes to pay tribute to my great father. One thing I will remember him for, most importantly, is that when in 1966-67, I formed a political party called Nigeria Center Party. The purpose was for me to contest for the presidency of this country. And I went to TB Kekla right in his home in Delta State and consulted him. And he gave me all the support and advice on what to do and encouraged me to go ahead with it. And I went ahead with it, and many people here from Delta State will testify to the fact that NCPN was #1 party in Delta State at that time, due to his good works. I just want to say that TV Kekla lived a great life of service to the nation, to his people, and he bequeathed great legacies of leadership to us that will be difficult to match for generations. For us in the South, and me in particular, Chief Edwin Kiabode Clark, CON, was a father, a pillar of strength, a leader to run to, depend on, and rely on always. He was a symbol of unity and audacious voice of hope for equity, peace, justice, and development. We were very proud of him and always excited to have him as our leader. We will surely miss him as he finally departed from the waiting lounge he had been saying at the age of 97, for which today we are gathered to celebrate his memories. Chief Edwin Clark was a leader of leaders. He was a politician of all politicians, a lover of all lovers, emancipator of all emancipators, a philanthropist of all philanthropists, and a great educationist. He was a great educationist. And before he departed this world, he built his own university that is imparting knowledge to Nigerians, particularly from the south side. We shall miss him, but God loves him more to call him to be with him after his great and remarkable services. May his soul rest in perfect peace. I would like to use this opportunity to call upon Nigerians to come out and try to see whether anyone can replace it with his courage, with his determination, with his service to the nation. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and you're most all welcome.
Just as a form of recognition, ladies and gentlemen, please, I'd like to appreciate.
They prevented us from speaking, saying our voices had no sound, forced us to stand at crossroads with our survival hanging at the balance. They said we were green to demand our place. They said we wanted too much for the penny we asked for. For the longest of time, we were drowning and struggling to breathe, even though equipped with the many blessings that blesses the nation. Our crime, they say, was to be blessed with a rich cultural heritage, strong old traditions, palm oil, crude oil, and a rich green vegetation. Our crime, they say, was to seek the scope control and drawing awareness to the problems in the Niger Delta. Today, I am reminded of May 25th, 1927, and the corner of a small village, Kiabodo, to Hebron College, to West African Student Union, to NCNC, where the brutal struggle all started, where a dreamy young boy surfaced, heralded the dawn of new origin for the Zone Nation. Today, I am reminded of a man whom my hero, Major Jackson Dakaboro dreamt of, who bore tragedy for his people, carried his war dreams unapologetically, he wrote the gospel like Joseph. Today, I salute a defender of the journey and an embodiment of valor. A voice of truth that spoke so loud and clear that all the inhabitants of the earth could hear. From colonialism to independence, he saw it all, leaving an indelible mark on a democratic journey. A legend, an activist like Martin Luther King, Fari Bimo, a man who answered call of service in 1953. A man of very qualified, an Iroko tree that stood so tall in the forest. A philanthropist, one who carved ways for his own nation, found out the Niger Delta from, waded through the muddy waters, not minding losing his own blood to preserve his people. He stood for honesty, he fought for justice, he won by truth. It was him who taught us who we are. Pa Edwin Clark showed us the true fighting spirit of the just sword in the face of marginalization. And whenever the angels of civilization are remembered, we remember you, Pa Clark. Generations to generations will chant your praise. Even in his final breath, he is still speaking. I hear his voice and see his handwriting boldly in every John sons and daughters.
Tell your brother, make him just
Raise
focus on the girl. Let him get close up
for
on her, okay? Yeah.
Shed no tears for he lives. Oh, sing the name, Pa Clark. Sing it in the most lyrical voice tonight. Sing it to the children, young and old. Sing it as long as the earth remains. For there will never be another father like him. He lived in shore and died in shore. Farewell, and great father. Thank you.
Leaders. They should emulate one thing, that you can be leader of your people and still be leader across the nation. E.K. Clark, Papa Clark, had that near impossible mantra of being the leader of the Ijaw nation and also a leader of modern day Nigeria. The reason is that he realized that it was from a nationality within a nation, that's the Ijaw people, and that there was no way you could wish away his place of birth. So all he preached was what you call unity in diversity. We are diverse, we are pluralistic. We can never be the same people. I am from Ivukwe, near Agenebode, Esako East. I cannot be a Hausa or Fulani man. I cannot be Yoruba, Igbo, or Ogoni. I cannot be Efik, Ibibio, or TV. That must be given to me where I come from. Park preached that. But he also said, in having this one nation, we must have it in a state of equity, social justice, and egalitarianism. That was why his common slogan was, "We are all Nigerians." He believed that monkey should not walk for bamboo to eat. He believed that the hewers and drawers of water must be allowed to also benefit from it. He believed that the goose that lays the golden egg must be fed to be able to continue to lay the golden egg. He did not believe in a Nigeria where unitarism was imposed on us under the thin guide of federalism. So all his life, he fought for a united Nigeria imbued with peace, social justice, and egalitarianism. He was also not corrupt. He's one of the few politicians never found to have been corrupt. And he fought till the last breath in his body. At 97, 3 months shy of 98, Park was still appearing on television, pontificating, crusading for a better society. And he died a happy man, though all he fought for had not been achieved. But he died happy that he had played his part. So all Nigerian leaders must emulate this great man, that leadership is a process of service. It is not for personal aggrandizement. Leadership should not be obtained just for the sake of dressing your robe, yourself with the robes of an emperor, rather than as a servant leader. Park was a servant leader, and he was a general who led from the front, not from the back. It was Alexander the Great who said he is more afraid of a group of one lion leading 100 sheep than a group or a troop of 100 sheep leading one lion. Because leadership, particularly transformational leadership, is one that galvanizes and energizes the people to follow a true leader and do what he says, what he does, not what he says. Leadership by example, not leadership by person. E.K. Clark was a great pan-Nigerian nationalist, not sectional. For him, I can say his life was one of Winnie, Widdy, Wissy. He came, he saw, and he conquered. Thank you very much.
The life of an elder statesman, who was a prominent member and a leader of the United Delta. As a leader of PANDEF now, what is your greatest takeaway that Nigeria's current leaders can learn from this great man?
Well, let me start by saying that this country has lost one of its greatest citizens ever, because Edwin Clark was a great pan-Nigerian who lived and believed in this country. He grew up in seeing the founding fathers of this country. He was one of the young men around them. He was a Zikist from a young age, followed the Nnamdi Azikiwe, and was part of all the political processes that brought us thus far. So there are foundational ideals, foundational ethos, principles on which our fathers believed that we must stay together as a country. I may be repeating myself too much, but there are other countries where people said, no, let's go away, separate ways, like India and Pakistan before they're independent. But our fathers, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Awolowo, Sadwana, all Tafa Balewa, they believed we should stay together, but on the principles of equity, fairness, justice for all Nigerians, on the principles of hard work, on the principles of each of us respecting federalism. So those were what Ike Clark grew up with, and he preached it till the end. Last week I was in Lagos celebrating similarly the life of Ayo Adeyanju, who was one of the greatest Awoists, and he was one of the closest friends of Edwin Clark. You know, they died just 3 days apart. In fact, Chief Edwin Clark did not know his friend has died because we didn't tell him. And 3 days after, he was gone. But these are the principles of our fathers. So our takeaway is for us to keep believing in Nigeria. Nigeria is a country, one of the best countries in the world. Let us all work towards building this country, but ensure that those foundational principles of equity, justice, and fairness are upheld, so all Nigerians can have that sense of belonging, sense of inclusion, sense of seeing hope in this country and building it for our children.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have many fond memories, many fond memories. And, you know, you can, as a child, you can chronicle and say, okay, when I was this age, when I was about 5, 6, my father was then education officer, and he had a motorbike, one of those massive Triumph motorbikes, you know, and I was always afraid when he zooms in, zoom, I like. So one day, with trepidation, a cousin of his now put me on the motorbike, and I was shaking like a leaf, but I enjoyed the ride. And when I came down, he said to me, you will always have challenges in life, but you should be able to hold them on. You know, hold them. You can imagine talking to a child of 6, 7, that kind of age. You know, it stays with you. It stays with you. And then over life, but one of the most beautiful ones I had was when I got married. As I was being escorted out, my name. I went through life as Rebecca Clark, and I was always thought of as some West Indian or kind of foreigner. And eventually, when I was getting married, I insisted that I be christened a native name. I got a native name, but according to one of my brothers, Kai, you went very bad. You just took a very strong Nigerian name. Now your name is Okoro-Dudu, you know? Rebecca Okoro-Dudu. Now I'm a Nigerian, so I was very happy to be a Nigerian. But the one thing he said to me while I was being escorted away, he said to me, there's nothing I can give to you, but the only thing you can give in return is respect. But know something, you have 2 parents, a mother, father from that side, a mother, father from this side, and they are all equal. Nobody is more important than the other person. And any day you take one to be more important, you're going to have problems at home. I don't know if that's what fathers say to their daughters, but I prayed very hard that I lived that for him. Because if you did anything, he would say, did you do to your father-in-law? Until my father-in-law passed. He'd be like, what did you say to your father-in-law? You do it to your mother. Did you do to your mother-in-law? You know? So it was always like that. And he always came last. You always give him last, not first, you know? And of course you have families. There are always family tragedies. But he will always say, know yourself. Know yourself. And be truthful to yourself. And so if you know yourself and speak your truth, it might not come to pass immediately, but it will come to pass. So as a kind of father that I had, he looked at he ruled democratically. When you are doing anything, you voted. Us children, you vote yes, you vote no. Even as our father, if there are 10 of us and 6 vote yes, he will follow that yes. He will tell us his part, but he's not going to break even by adding his voice to it. He knows, so he will always take the majority vote and work with it. If there's any problem, he was very democratic in his processes. And I don't know, but that is the way we were brought up. We were not brought up to look down on anybody. Everybody was your equal. That is the word Keneteba in Ijo. No head is more important. All heads are equal. So for my father that has passed on, I miss him in the sense that I don't have the person that will say, Rebecca, this is my opinion. What is your opinion? It's not there anymore. Who will it's a rap. Who will I rap with again? I have nobody to rap with. I can't rap with anybody again. So, because you talk to him, he will say something, you will say something, and you come to a consensus. And to me, that's a rap. You don't, that gentle talk is not forcing you. It's encouraging you to discuss. And that discourse was very lovely. And I pray that his soul rests in perfect peace and that we are all right with the kind of upbringing he has given us. Thank you very much.
A father that the Niger Delta people cannot forget. A father that we cannot get. A father that we cannot replace because it's only God that can give us somebody who can replace Ike Clark again. Because Ike Clark, irrespective of who you are, he will tell you the way it is. He has nobody in mind he specially loves or he specially hates. He loves everybody. He's a father to all, a father for everybody. He has spoken. He's an outspoken person. He's somebody that, if you know him, you will love to always be with him. He's a father that we miss. We in Niger Delta, we have missed him so much. And short, we cannot forget him. I love him so much. I miss him so much. He's a father. And may God Almighty, may his soul rest in peace wherever he is. He's a father. And wherever he is, he should bring another Ike Clark to the Niger Deltas. We will be so happy. Thank you and God bless you.